It is 17 minutes past 8 o'clock. Good morning. You're watching BT Vancouver. Thanks so much for joining us. The man convicted in the random killings of a Vancouver couple back in 2017 is expected to learn his fate today. Crown lawyers want Rocky Rambo Waynam Cam behind bars for life with no parole for 50 years. Cam's lawyer says that would make Cam 75 before he could apply, so there's no chance he could be rehabilitated in prison. Cam was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Diana Ma Jones and her husband, Richard Jones. Last weekend's Cultus Lake drowning victim has been identified as an international student. Travis Prasad takes a look at this concerning trend happening in other parts of Canada as well.
His name is Manpreet Singh, a 22-year-old international student from India studying at Surrey's Kwantlen Polytechnic University. On Saturday, he and 9 of his friends went to Cultus Lake in Chilliwack. The young men were wading in chest-high water when Manpreet and another friend found themselves in danger.
Suddenly, there was a steep down.
A drop-off meant the men could no longer touch the bottom. A bystander noticed the pair was drowning.
One of the person came and he dived into the water. He saved my first friend.
But Manpreet could not be saved. Beachgoers and police spent 45 minutes trying to locate him in the water.
And then the divers came, and with the help of the divers and the volunteers who jumped into the water, we got his body.
On the same day Manpreet died, an Indian international student living in Calgary fell into a river near Lake Louise while posing for a photo. Gagandeep Khalsa is still missing. In Nova Scotia last month, Indian student Siddharth Asija drowned while swimming in a Halifax lake. Friends of Manpreet say when it comes to Canadian waters, many international students don't know what they're getting themselves into.
We can say that the students are not well aware of the place or the water or the swimming or anything.
Unfortunately, Manpreet was not wearing a life vest.
You need to have it on, and you need to be aware of your surroundings. And so we're asking everybody, getting on the water is just a wonderful way to recreate, a wonderful way to enjoy our beautiful province. But we have to be smart about it.
Because in an instant, lives can be lost.
We learned that, first of all, it's safety. We should be responsible for our own lives.
In Vancouver, Travis Prasad, City News.
8:19 now. Rice Lake on the North Shore is still closed after a black bear bit a young girl in the area on Friday. With 2 significant bear encounters in Metro Vancouver in the last few days, the North Shore Black Bear Society says it's vital we remember some key tips when we head into the woods.
We should never startle bears. If we have a close encounter with a bear, it's very important that we try to remain nice and calm. So the old messaging many years ago used to be, if you have a close encounter, be big and be loud. We now know about bear behavior, and we know that pressures them to respond, often defensively. It's very important that we give bears lots of space. If you have a close encounter, take a deep breath and stay calm. Talk to the bear in a calm voice in any language and slowly back away. Black bears are not aggressive by nature, but when we spend time in their home, we increase the chances of close surprise encounters.
All right, some good tips there. Well, the co-founders of the We charity will testify at the House of Commons Finance Committee today. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's appearance has been set for Thursday. This is all over the government's controversial contract with We and the decision to let the group manage a $900 million student volunteer aid program. Trudeau's testimony will come just weeks after it was revealed his family members had been paid hundreds of thousands by the charity. The Conservatives and Bloc Québécois are calling for the PM and the Finance Minister to resign. Last week, Bill Morneau admitted he had not paid back travel expenses from We trips. The World Health Organization says the number of COVID-19 cases has doubled in 6 weeks.
One of the most fundamental ingredients for stopping this virus is determination and the willingness to make hard choices to keep ourselves and each other safe.
There are now over 16 million confirmed cases. More than 650,000 people have died globally. The WHO first declared COVID as a global health emergency in late January when there were less than 100 cases outside of Canada. It was declared a pandemic in March. We'll call it the ripple effect of central bank bond buying. Mortgage rates have dropped to some record lows.
What's happened here is central banks have been buying bonds, have been keeping interest rates artificially low, trying to make borrowing easier, whether it's for businesses or consumers. And the spillover effect is that some of the big banks are now offering, 5-year fixed rates in and around 2%. We've never seen it this low. We've already seen in some of the special mortgage rates. The HSBC, for example, was offering one at 1.99 for a brief time. So, we've seen the real estate markets hold up really well here in Vancouver and Toronto. And it does come back to, pent up demand. Let's face it, there were lots of buyers in the market, not many properties for sale. They come up for sale. You got record low mortgage rates. Boom, the prices go up and they're sold really quickly.
8:22 now. The public and media have been barred from the extradition hearing on Chinese executive Meng Wanzhou when it picks up tomorrow. Yesterday, lawyers for the Huawei executive disputed the Canadian government's claim that it cannot release some documents related to her arrest. They say releasing them would not threaten national security, as the government has claimed. Meng is wanted in the U.S. for fraud related to violating sanctions in Iran. Several Korean War veterans gathered in Burnaby Central Park for a ceremony. The Korean War Veterans Act became an act of parliament in June of 2013. Since then, Canadians across the country have come together on July 27th to remember the sacrifices made during the Korean War. More than 26,000 Canadians served in Korea.
I am Korean myself. I have a Korean heritage, and I grew up here, so I am Korean Canadian. And my grandpa actually fought in the Korean War as well. So I think being a Korean Canadian, it's important for me to remember our Korean veterans as well as our Canadian veterans.
Another 7,000 Canadians served in peacekeeping duties. 514 never returned home.
We made as much noise as we possibly could.
We're quite happy with the RCMP.
A car rally hit up Surrey City Hall last night to coincide with the final council meeting before summer break. Starting at about 7 p.m., dozens of honking cars covered in signs reading, "Keep the RCMP in Surrey," started doing laps around the building for about 45 minutes. The group's organizer says he's confident their message was heard by the mayor and council.
We're very happy with the enthusiasm of the people that were here. We understand that every time that Mr. McCallum put on his microphone inside there, nobody could hear what he was saying because we were making so much background noise. And for us, that's sending a message to him, and it's sending a message to everybody else.
Pride Week has officially kicked off in Vancouver despite the COVID-19 pandemic. It started with a ceremony at Vancouver City Hall and the rising of the Pride and Progress flags. This year, Pride celebrations and the Pride Parade are happening online and will be live streamed on social media. The Vancouver Pride Society says many people in the LGBTQ community have been impacted by the pandemic.
A lot of folks, especially in the LGBTQ AI2S+ community, really have been impacted severely by COVID-19. Everyone has, obviously, but a lot of folks that were already marginalized have faced increased barriers to participation in society. A lot of folks that were socially isolated before are even more socially isolated now. And so we're really mindful of the ways that we can celebrate our community and uplift our community right now.
And as part of the celebration, 6 LGBTQ couples will be getting married in physical distancing ceremonies. As part of the City Hall Micro Weddings program, the iconic Pride Parade will also be happening virtually on Sunday. 8:26 now on BT Vancouver. Well, the NHL officially resumes today. Our Greg Harper is covering this story for us all morning. Greg, you've been chatting with people, and lots of hockey fans are very excited.
Yes, lots of fans just have been waiting for this day, Mary. We have 12 teams in Edmonton. We have 12 teams in Toronto. Well, exhibition play starts today. 3 games on the schedule. What will these games look like? Well, we have some idea of that from what the NHL is saying. What do you think of the league resuming play? We'll get into that next. Stay with us.